what are the rights of the owner and what are the obligations of the builder?
Well, the rights of the owner, apart from what the terms of the contract say, they would have the right to terminate the contract if there are defects and they're not rectified within a reasonable period, and it's got to be a major defect. And another right of the owner would be if the builder takes 1.5 times longer than the contract allows for the completion of the works, then the owner can terminate the contract. And the third important right of the owner is if the variations increase the contract more than 15%, again, the owner may terminate the contract.
Right. So what are the obligations of the builder?
The builder has an obligation to, apart from comply with the law, and I'll let Phil explain some of the warranties that the builder has to provide in relation to the works. But the builder must ensure that the works are completed on time, in accordance with the plans and specifications, and the plans. So basically, giving you the house you paid for, or the renovation you paid for, the pool you've paid for. So, and that the structure is sound and performs.
Before we get to Phil, can I again ask Olivia how to terminate the contract if matters are not resolved?
Usually I would strongly suggest that you get legal advice, because if you terminate the contract as an owner incorrectly, you could actually be sued by the builder for a large amount of money. So I would usually only terminate a contract if there are major defects and the builder has failed to rectify those defects within a reasonable period.
Phil?
I think it's, again, an important thing to understand that we build to a structure, and that structure is about a hierarchy. The Building Code of Australia is the principal legal status. Under that, we have Australian standards, which actually spell out how things are to be built and complied with. And then below that, we actually have a set of guidelines put out by the Building Commission or the Building Authority here in Victoria. That's the Guide to Standards and Tolerances, commonly referred to because it's a much simplified version of those standards.
What are some of the standards that they have to meet?
I think the most common one that people generally notice when they do a walkthrough at handover time would be AS 2311, the standard for painting of residential buildings. So they're looking at the surfaces and the finishes, and this gives us a guideline on how we can actually assess those to determine if it's being complied with.
We often use the words builder's warranty and warranty insurance. Can anyone give me the definition or an unclear understanding of the meaning of these words?
Well, warranty insurance, a lot of clients misunderstand what that means. Home warranty insurance runs with the property, and you can only make a claim pursuant to that insurance once the builder has died, becomes insolvent, is bankrupt or disappears. Builder's warranty insurance, I'll let Phil explain it.
The builder's warranty insurance is really about the implied warranty, to build it in a proper and workmanlike manner, to make sure that it performs the way it should. It's also enshrined in our consumer legislation, so it must be fit for purpose. And generally the builder will also warrant a property over and above, certainly the larger builders, over and above the statutory warranty. The statutory warranty is 10 years for all domestic building works.
So if the building contract has ended and after a few years if there's an issue, so we contact the insurance company?
Most insurance companies, first of all, will want to deflect the claim. It's funny about that, but it's important that they actually refer back to the age of the building, how long it is since the certificate of completion was issued, and if it turns out that it's still subject to a warranty period, they'll want you to pursue the builder in the first instance.
We have come to an end of our show, but before we conclude, can you give us a summary or some advice to our viewers?
Yeah, look, I think it's really important people get early advice, get involved when it's, starting the works. If you start to get in trouble, don't go too far. Make sure that you actually get some help both legally and from someone who is qualified and experienced as an industry expert.
And Olivia?
I'd just like to mention, most people think they can make an insurance claim if there's defects. But if the builder's still around, you can't do that. Also with builders liability insurance, it's the builder that has to make the claim.
Oh, I
for
see. That's a
COTD
very
insurance,
important point.
not the owner. So it's quite important that you do get your contract checked from the beginning by an experienced building lawyer. It's important that you engage an expert to inspect each stage before you hand over payment, because a stage is not complete if there's defects, and in most cases when there's disputes, the stage is incomplete and the owner has paid over, and you may not be covered by insurance.
Thank you. Very good. Emily?
I think my final words are, I agree with Phil and Olivia. Do your checks before signing a contract, because once you do, that's binding, and just seek that advice.
Well, thank you for your valuable time and the information given to us. If you want to participate in our program as a member of the community or as a solicitor who wants to sit in the panel, you can contact us. Or if you have any questions or concerns or topics that you want to suggest to us, please contact us. Now, for more information, you can visit our webpage www.lawhelpaustralia.org, and in our YouTube channel, you can watch all our past episodes. Bye for now.